Hello, this is Ariel from Scott Leroy Marketing, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to export your contacts from the eEdge platform, format them, and import them into your command database. So the first thing that you're going to need is the command import template. So to get that template, you'll log into command, which is agent.kw.com. And once you're signed into command, you can click on contacts. It's that first icon that pops up. I usually expand the menu by clicking on KW, and then it will tell you what the items are. So once you click on that option for contacts, you'll click on the import button towards the top right-hand corner. And it'll say download the pre-made CSV to upload your contacts into the command system. So you're just going to click on the word download, and that'll automatically put that into your downloads folder. So we can go ahead and exit out of this for now. And then you're going to log into the MyKW platform, which is mykw.kw.com, to access those eEdge or market leader contacts. Once you're signed into mykw.kw.com, you're going to click on the View Contacts option in the eEdge control panel box. So you'll do View Contacts. And from this page, you'll click on the option for contacts in that gray toolbar and select that last option, which is Export Contacts. So as long as it says contact groups select options, it's going to export all of your eEdge contacts into one file. So that's what I'll show you how to do today. If you do want to export just a specific group or do certain groups at a time so you can tag them individually based on the eEdge group, that's an option too. You would click on select options and then on one of these, one of your group names. But for now, I'm just going to do select options and then just make sure that the status for the contact status says all. And then you'll just do export from this page. So once you have that file ready, you're just going to go ahead and open that up in your downloads. And I'm going to minimize this for now. The first thing that we want to do is make sure that any of the contacts that you previously trashed in eEdge are not in this spreadsheet to get imported into command. So to do that, you're going to find the status column. And if you just click on the column right above the column header, you're going to do the sort and filter option. And you can do sort A to Z or Z to A. So whichever option you pick, just make sure the button for the box for expand the selection is checked. That way all the row information remains the same. So we're going to do yes and sort. And then you can tell it works because the column headers kind of moved down. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut and paste those back to the top. So all of the column headers are now there. So now we can take a look at the status column. And as you can see, we have two that were deleted. So what I'm going to do is just highlight those two trashed status ones by clicking on the row and then just deleting the full row. So now we only have warm and new. You might have cold, lead, past, or other statuses. So as long as those trash ones are removed, now you are ready to get that formatted and imported into command. So then you'll want to open up that downloaded template that you have. Oh, I think I already have mine open. Let's see. Here we go. And basically, you're just going to try to match up as much content on this export as you possibly can on the import template. So I always like to start with the easier options first, and then I can show you how to do the tags specifically afterwards. So we're going to do first name, last name, email address, cell phone, and then I do want to keep the source information because that's going to be useful to know where those leads came from. So we just have to find the column for source. I'm not going to keep the agent info. This is useful if you're on a team and you might have different agents listed here. For us, it's just Scott, Livery Marketing, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that option. And then I'm going to copy over all the address info too. And then for the created on, that's specific to when the contact was added to eEdge. You can most likely just delete that. If you do want that information, you can cut and paste it into either the About column or the Notes column on the Command Import template. And then one thing to note for birth dates and anniversaries, when you export them from eEdge, they add kind of like a timestamp to that date. That does need to be removed before importing it into Command. So a trick to get that removed, because you most likely have more contacts than we do, so you don't have to do it one by one, is to click on just one of them. And then in this text box at the top, you're going to highlight that full timestamp. So the T and all the zeros, you highlight it and copy. And then you can highlight both the birthday and the anniversary columns. And we're going to do a find and replace option. On my newer version of Excel, they have find and select. So I have to click on that first and then go to replace. And then I'm going to go ahead and just paste the timestamp on there. And I want to replace it with nothing. So I basically just want to get rid of it. So you just click on where it says replace with, and then do replace all. So it'll tell you however many replacements it made for you. For us, it's just one. So I'm going to do OK and then close. So now that birthday is formatted properly to use for the command to upload. Let's see. So you can go ahead and cut that column and paste it into the birthday column on the import sheet. So you might notice if you do have a lot of secondary or spouse information, they don't have a place for that on the command import template just yet. So what we usually do is we take the spouse information and we add it to the about column instead. So that way, once the primary contact is in command, you can look in the contact record to see what their significant other's name is. And then the next thing that we're going to want to do is the tags, which are super important. Tags are going to help you to find and manage your contacts much easier once they're in the command system. So I didn't have any content in these columns, so I'm just going to delete those. And then we want to start with the most important tag first. So for us, that's going to be the contact type. So this is where you'll have buyer, seller, renter, other, lead, vendor. So you can put that first in column A. And then we also want to maintain the status as one of the tags. So I always add another tag with the date and with the source of where the contacts came from. If we've done an import for you before, I'm sure you've noticed that too. So I would do eEdge and then today's date, which is April 20th, 2020. And this is just to help you find and manage them a lot easier once the group of contacts has been added to the command database. So if you'll notice, if you copy or if you highlight and click that down, Excel thinks that it's helping and it's trying to basically do a counting function. So instead, what you have to do is copy and paste those just for the first about 5 rows. And then once you have the first 5 displaying with the correct date, you can just drag the rest of the information down. So once you have these in the right order that you want them to appear in, and if you've added your date column, then you're ready to combine the tags in order to have them upload into the system. So the nice thing about the command is you don't have to add the custom tag to the backend of command first. They'll all be added for you automatically during the import. They just have to be separated by a comma. So you can have however many columns, however many tags you want in the tags column, but they always have to have a comma to separate them. So this is a little Excel formula that we use to combine columns. So I'm going to do A2 and sign. And you can tell as I'm typing it in, it's highlighting the column in a certain color. And then I'm going to make sure I put my comma in there and grab that second column. Oops. And it's highlighting the B2 column in another color. So we're going to close that out with quotes. One more comma and C2. So now it's basically giving you kind of a little preview of what that's going to look like. So it's going to have info from A, B, and C all together separated by a comma. So now you can just hit enter and it puts them all together for you. So once you have that looking the correct way that you want it, you can just click on that cell and then you can just drag and drop this down, or even quicker, you can just double click that little square over there. And then it should automatically bring over all of your tags for you into that column. So for this particular column, since we use an Excel formula, you can't just copy and paste them into the template. I'll show you what it would look like if you did. So if you simply copy those and paste them in there, it's just going to keep the commas and erase any of your content. So let's undo that. And instead, I'm going to copy, and then you have to do paste as plain text or paste as values only. So it just depends on what type of Excel you have on your computer. So for a PC, you can right click. For a Mac, you can do Control. And then I'm going to do paste special and values only. So that maintained all of my tags. So then I want to go back to my original one and make sure I brought over all the information possible. So I'm not missing any content in here. This was all already brought over. So now we're done with this. And now you'll just want to make sure that the file is named as something that's going to be easy for you to find. So I'm going to do Scott eEdge contacts for command. Oops. And I'm just going to keep that on my desktop because it's going to be easy for me to find when I'm importing it. So Scott eEdge contacts for command, save. That last step is going to be to replace the column headers with the exact same ones that are on the import template that you downloaded. So you'll have to open up another version of that downloaded file. And then you're just going to click on the number 1 to highlight that entire row. Copy that row and paste it over. So now we've brought over all of our content from eEdge and it's ready to import into command. So you'll make sure you want to save that. And then we're going to open command back up. So if you exited out of it, it's going to be agent.kw.com. And then you can click on the contacts option. And then you're going to click on the import button. So once that box pops up, you'll click on the browse your files. And then you're going to find the one that you had just saved. So mine was on the desktop, Scott eEdge contacts for command. So once it's showing your file name, you're just going to do import contacts. Okay, I think this is because I did a test run first and I imported this entire list a moment ago before I started recording. So basically when you import it, it's going to give you that teal check mark and say successfully imported. Please allow a few minutes. So to make sure that they've uploaded, you can wait a few minutes afterwards and then simply refresh your page. And watch that number increase. Or what you could do too, especially if you have a larger file, it's going to take some time for all those to come up. So you can click on your name in the upper right hand corner once it says successfully imported. And then you'll go to settings. And you're going to click on command settings. And under import logs, click on my logs. So this shows you the one that I just tried says 0 imported, and it's because I just imported all those earlier. So for my earlier list, it shows 6 imported and 11 failed. If you'd like to see the reasons why they failed, more often than not, it's because it's a duplicate contact. So you could scroll over and just download that error file, and it'll give you the reason why that contact didn't get added. And then if you just want to double check, you can also go back to contacts and click on that column for updated. And then it shows you there's ones that I did about half an hour ago. So that is how you format and import your eEdge contacts to import into command. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to let us know. Our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com.